All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar, and on down to rule well. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. So like it. All right, so I just want to do a short lesson. How alone the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And this is going to be an update on the death of the petrodollar. All right. Um, and Lord will, as brothers can see, which is the U.S. dollar. All right. Which the petrodollar, of course, all the brothers out there know. All right. In order for countries to purchase oil, all right, they have to convert their currency into U.S. dollars in order to purchase oil. But those days are over. And that's what's one of the main drivers, besides bombs, tanks, and missiles, that has kept the U.S. on top for so many years, economic wise. All right, but those days are coming to an end. All right, and Lord Will's brothers can see on the screen. I have this article here from the Washington Post, and it says Saudi Crown Prince threatens major economic pain on U.S. amid oil feud. All right, and it's going. Well, I'm just go ahead and read it. I ain't gonna read the whole article, but read like the top parts. It says last fall, President Biden vowed to impose consequences on Saudi Arabia for its decision to slash oil production amid high energy price and fast approaching elections in the U.S. In public, the Saudi government defends its actions politically, void diplomatic statements, but in private, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman threatened to fundamentally after decade-old U.S. relations. And what's that decade-old relations? All right, the petrodollar. All right, the again, like what I just mentioned, in order for you to that deal that Saudi Arabia cut with the United States in the 70s, that you had to convert your money into into U.S. dollars to purchase oil. That's that decade old relations between them. All right, U.S. Saudi relations and impose significant economic cost on the United States. How would they do that? By killing the petrodollar, by accepting other currencies outside of the petrodollar. All right, which I firmly believe they're going to do. All right, and again, it's not a coincidence that they're going to be at the BRICS summit in South Africa this year, right along with a bunch of other nations. All right, so this is the end, and I'm not sure if they're talking about the first oil slash that they did, but they just did another one. They just cut another large amount of oil production, which I believe is getting ready to start soon. All right, the other cut that they did, because they already did one, but I believe they just did another one. All right, so yeah, man, it's coming to an end, man. After decade-old U.S.-Saudi relationships impose significant economic cost on the United States if it retaliates against the oil cuts. Right, and it looks like Biden is going to retaliate. Because like I said, election year. It ain't really got nothing to do with election year and all that. You know, it's just time for this old system to be done away with. All right, and the main way for this old system, this fiat currency system, to be done away with, one of the main drivers is to get rid of the petrodollar. All right, completely and utterly destroy the U.S. dollar, make it completely and utterly worthless, which that's going to be by way of hyperinflation when all those dollars pour back into the country due to the deal with the Saudis, the petrodollar deal or whatever being cut, and that's going to cause all these dollars to circulate back into America and create hyperinflation, and the dollar will be worthless. All right, and again, it's all a part of pushing to the next system, getting the people ready for the next system. All right, which ultimately will be a microchip embedded inside people's bodies to buy and sell. All right, when the dollar is completely worthless, which is already worthless, but it's about to be completely and utterly worthless soon. All right, and the people are going to know about it. And impose significant economic cost to the United States if it retaliates against the oil cuts, according to classified document obtained by the Washington Post. The Crown Prince claims he would not deal with the U.S. administration anymore, so he's not looking to deal with him anymore. The document said promising major economic consequences for Washington. And I can't think of a better way than for them to accept other currencies outside of the U.S. dollar, right, for their resources, for oil or whatever. That would that would murder, destroy, kill every word you can think of to the pet to this current fiat money system. All right, this dude is serious, man. He hates Biden. He hates, it all could be an act, but at the end of the day, anyway, it's all, it all benefits us. Rather, this is real beef or it's just something made up to the elites have set up to further crash the dollar or whatever. It don't really matter. At the end of the day, this system is being pushed out of the way, which we desperately need for it to happen. Desperately need it to happen, and uh, we needed to happen to usher in the the Karagma. All right, I'm gonna pause it real quick. So Salaki brothers. I'm pretty sure again all the brothers already know this, but just put it back out there. It says BRICS bank wants new members as Saudi Arabia looks to join. So it looked like they want to join, and again they will be attending the summit. I think it's in August or September in South Africa this year. All right, so they're looking to join. So, and we all know right now the whole thing between Russia, Babylon, and the NATO and EU nations, Russia or whatever. All right, with this whole Ukraine thing. So yeah, man, that's a two middle fingers that Saudi Arabia is giving to America. All right, by the oil cuts and for them looking to join BRICS, Babylon's enemies right now. So yeah, man, it's a strong chance. This could lead to the Saudis, you know, cutting off the petrodollar, or maybe not cutting it off completely, but accepting other currencies. And like I said, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah, and other brothers have said before too as well, um, if Saudi Arabia is willing to accept other currencies or other resources outside of U.S. dollars, they'll definitely do it because these countries don't want to deal with America anymore at all. So they'll definitely, you know, deal with gold, silver, or whatever other currencies, right? As the Chinese yuan or the Russian ruble or whatever the currency is going to be. Um, in order to purchase those things, they'll definitely do it because they don't want to be up under America anymore. These nations are looking to get from up under America. All right, because they're sick of America. All right. So I'm gonna get one precept. Same precept. We always get. So like Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel. Because again, I can't think of a better way for this prophecy to be fulfilled. This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 19. And they should cast their silver in the streets, and the gold should be removed, and their silver, Salakia. They should cast their silver, Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 19. They should cast their silver in the streets, and the gold should be removed, and the silver and the gold should not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. And they should not be satisfied with their soul, neither fear their bowels, because it is a stumbling block for their iniquity. Right? So, um, yeah, it said they should cast their silver and the gold in the street, and the silver. It's talking about real silver and gold right here, but the silver, so-called silver and gold we use in Babylon is paper money. All right, and if the uh the petrodollar is pushed to the side or completely and utterly done away with, I can't think of a better reason. That's one of the major drivers for hyperinflation. If the petrodollar dies. Matter of fact, let me pull up one more thing. Salaki brothers. I just did a simple Google search for what if the petrodollar collapsed, and it says, but if the petrodollar system ever crumbled, America will be struck with lots of extra dollars, right? Because all the money will pour back into Babylon, extra dollars that would no longer be in demand. So nobody will want them anymore because because the only reason why people use the U.S. dollar is because you have to convert your money into U.S. dollars to buy oil. And if that's done away with, there's nothing else backing it. It's not backed by gold, wheat, nothing like that. It's just backed by that and bombs. All right. But the scripture say what? Let the Lord say, look what? Let the weak say in the book of Joel, let the weak say I am strong. So these nations ain't afraid of America anymore because they're all are becoming allies with each other to protect each other, being a guard unto them. All right, like it speaks about in the book of Ezekiel. All right, Russia and being a guard to those other nations because they're the big dog when it comes to the military might, and China and India as well. All right, and all these nations are joining forces, and with Iran and nations like that to look out for each other. All right, so as far as the bombs and invading, these countries ain't afraid of America anymore. All right, because they got the backing Well, they also had the great equalizer, which is the nuclear missile. All right, so um, there's no other reason, because again, it's not backed by gold, silver, wheat, or any other resource. So there's no reason why people would want the U.S. dollar. All right. Besides that, and if that's done away with, like I said, it's no longer being demand. Those dollars will quickly return to the U.S., which will lead to massive inflation, which is hyperinflation. The word there should be hyperinflation, because we're going through an inflationary period right now, but it's really hyperinflation is what Babylon's going to suffer. All right, so yeah, man, it's about over for this shithole, man. All right, and now I played the what's his name, Steve Quails, that report that he gave about the end of the petrodollar, a bunch of times. Um, Basically saying the same thing. If the petrodollar collapses, which if I can't think of a better way for the Saudis to get even with America than doing that. Really hurting America than doing that. Um, yeah, I played that a bunch of times. It's pretty much saying the same thing. And yeah, man, it's about to go down, man. All right, and again, this is all a part of prophecy because the U.S. dollar and all other paper currencies got to be pushed out of the way in order for the new digital currency, the fulfillment of the real digital currency, which will be the charagma, the microchip technology embedded inside people's hands to buy and sell. Because the scriptures say again, they're going to cast their silver and the gold into the streets, and with hyperinflation, and with hyperinflation here, it's going to cost so much money to buy certain goods that people are just going to be throwing the money out because it's going to be worthless. And then that's when Esau, I believe, is going to introduce the next system. That's what this Fed Now thing is all about. Getting people, because the people are already completely and utterly conditioned for the digital money. All right, but that's you know, a, you know, to get people on board with it. All right, and it's also not a coincidence these little banks are collapsing and the big banks are taking them over, and the big banks are all going to push the Fed Now system with the CBDCs. All right, so it's all coming together, man. It's all coming together, and Babylon's days are numbered. All right, so with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you, brothers that push this truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.